So what if I told you that you can make your heart 20 years younger? I'm not kidding. Today, we're going to dig into some absolutely incredible science that shows how exercise can do way more than just keep you fit. It can literally turn back the clock on your body's most important organ. It's a question a lot of us face. You hit your 40s, your 50s, and that little thought starts to creep in. Is the damage already done? Is it just too late to make a real, meaningful difference? It's a really common fear. But thankfully, the actual science tells a completely different and way more hopeful story. And let's be super clear about this. This isn't just some wishful thinking or a motivational poster. It is a scientific reality. You absolutely have the power to change your heart's future, and you can start today, no matter how old you are or what your habits have been up until now. So why are we so focused on the heart? Well, because you can make a really strong argument that it's the single most important key to aging well. Seriously, it's the engine that powers everything else in your body. Think about it. Your heart isn't just a pump. It's the absolute command center for your body's entire delivery system. The blood it moves carries literally everything your organs need to function. We're talking oxygen, energy from glucose, vitamins, minerals, the whole shebang. A healthy heart means a well-fed body and maybe, most importantly, a well-fed brain. All right, so what are we really up against here? As we get older, if we lead a mostly sedentary life, our hearts go through some pretty predictable and honestly pretty unwelcome changes. A young, healthy heart is amazing. It's flexible, it's efficient. But over time, that muscle can actually start to shrink. Its walls get stiffer and they lose that critical elasticity. It becomes a much less effective pump. And the consequences of that? They're really serious. This shrinking and stiffening isn't some minor issue. It's a major driver of cardiovascular disease. It means less blood, which means less oxygen, and fewer nutrients are getting to all the places they desperately need to go. But here's the good news. What if that decline wasn't inevitable? What if it was reversible? Well, a truly groundbreaking study out of UT Southwestern, led by a researcher named Dr. Ben Levine, gives us an incredibly powerful solution. So here's what they did. They took a group of 50-year-olds who were healthy but sedentary, basically people who didn't exercise consistently. For 2 years, they put them on this really structured program, gradually working their way up to 5 hours of exercise a week. And we're not talking about a light walk in the park. This was a focused mix of vigorous aerobic work, like high-intensity intervals plus full-body resistance training. So after 2 years of this dedicated effort, how much aging did they actually reverse in their hearts? The answer is just staggering. 20 years. They turned back the clock a full 2 decades. Let's just let that sink in for a second. These people walked in the door with the heart structure of a typical 50-year-old, and they walked out with hearts that looked structurally like they belonged to a 30-year-old. That is just a phenomenal transformation. So what was actually happening inside their chests? Well, the exercise physically made their hearts bigger and stronger. It completely reversed that dangerous stiffening process. They literally rebuilt their hearts from the inside out, making them younger and more robust. Okay, a younger heart is fantastic news, right? But the benefits do not stop there. This is also about protecting your brain, especially from diseases like Alzheimer's. The connection is powerful. To get how this works, we need to talk about something called the blood-brain barrier. Just think of it as the ultimate bouncer for your brain. It's this network of tiny blood vessels that decides exactly what gets in and, more importantly, what stays out. It's your brain's #1 protector. And here's the direct link, the part that matters most. The health of that bouncer, that gatekeeper, is directly tied to the health of your heart and your entire vascular system. A strong pump means a strong barrier. Simple as that. Now here's why this is so critical. We now know that a breakdown of this blood-brain barrier is one of the very earliest signs of Alzheimer's disease, sometimes happening decades before any symptoms show up. See, when blood flow is poor, those tiny vessels start to degrade, but vigorous exercise forces oxygen and nutrients into them, keeping that barrier healthy and strong. It's an incredibly powerful defense. So all of this science, it really leads us to a clear choice in how we approach our own health. We can either sit back and wait for problems to pop up, or we can start building a proactive blueprint for our future right now. Really, we all face this choice. There's the reactive path, right? That's waiting for your doctor to give you the bad news about high cholesterol and then starting on medication. Or there's the proactive path, which is using these amazing tools like exercise to prevent that from ever even happening in the first place. So, what's your action plan? It's simple, but it's so powerful. First, commit to regular, vigorous exercise to build that stronger, younger heart. Second, be proactive about your health screenings. Don't think of them as looking for problems. Think of them as confirming your progress. And third, and maybe most importantly, you have to truly internalize this mindset. It is never, ever too late to make a huge change in your health. And that really just leaves us with one last thought. Let's forget all the science for just a moment and just imagine it. If you had the energy, the stamina, the heart of someone 20 years younger than you are right now, what would you do with it?